Bitter criticism, regular show, regular day. It's nice. A strange illumination. This is summer, I guess. Maybe this is already summer. Already summer, I guess. Who knows? And well, this week, maybe if you don't understand Spanish, or I don't remember if I said something like that. Here, every single profession, every single work is precarized. Everybody's precariat. This is a new class, something. Precariat. I was watching Jade's English, and she said that there's the new class, the precariat. Well, every single professional, every single worker in Chile is precariat. So in this context, we have bus drivers in Chile. Of course, they don't see themselves as precariat, as poor workers, unstable workers, you know. They don't see themselves as precarious workers. The question is, that's just what they are. That's just what they are. And they got really fascist. There was a bus once. I don't know if the bus is still running. There was a bus saying they were saying they are fascist. They are like, I don't know how to say it. Well, a fascist bus collective, but it was only one. They said they were fascists. That's what they are. They are like, well, what happened? Some student take the bus, and well, these bus drivers they have a myriad. They have a myriad. They have a huge. I don't remember the word. They do a lot of things to kill students. Yeah, to make their life impossible inside the bus. Like when some students catch the bus, they accelerate. The thing they want money, that's it. And of course, students, they complain about bus prices. And well, what happened? Some students take the bus in an open curve, and the door was open in the bus, and then she was expelled. She fall onto the street, and she died. That happened in Chile. I know, I'm pretty sure that the bus drivers, they know how to do it. When they see some students in the back of the bus, they don't close the door. They accelerate abruptly, and when a curve comes when then comes a curve, they pronounce the curve, and like that the students are projected onto the streets, onto the floor, and that's how students died. A female. Terrible country. There's more things like here the government is not like in Sweden or Brazil or Argentina. Things are changing in Argentina. Question is the finance the financement, I guess, is not made by the state. No, it's not by taxes, so everybody has to pay their own bills. There's a financing program where the state, when you take money from someone who is financed before you, and then these people pay their debts, and then you can finance yourself by the previous student. But this is not working for a long time, because capitalism in Chile doesn't allow you to find a job. Understand? No one is able to find a job after getting your diploma, your career, and that's how you cannot pay your bill, your student debts. And well, maybe this is happening all over the world, not just in Chile, but that's how things go. And well, so there's a very good, maybe a famous university here. I will say that it's more famous than good, because students cannot pay their bills neither, or they are not paying their bills anyway. So what happened is that someone stole data from them. Someone stole the debt data, and that was a huge scandal or something. But newspapers sold this story like a criminal case. But my opinion, this is a whole failure. This is a whole failure of the educational system in Chile, and a whole failure of the whole system, not just the educational system, because those bus drivers, those assassins, they cannot study. Nobody can study. But anyway, let's read some Russia Today. I guess just two news from each. Russia Today, CGTN, and well, I was talking about the failure educational system in Chile, but look at this. November 16, Chinese student kills 8 in stabbing spree after failed exam. A knife man was arrested at the scene and readily confessed to the murders, police have said. And we have a photograph, a view of Wuxi Vocational Institute of Arts and Technology in Jiangsu province. 8 people have been killed and 17 injured in a mass stabbing at a college campus in eastern Chinese city of Jiqing. The suspect was described by law enforcement as a student who failed his exams and returned to the college to take out his anger. It sounds like an arts exam failed, just like Adolf Hitler. The attack took place on Saturday evening at the Wuxi Vocational Institute of Arts and Technology in the city of Yiqing in Jiangsu province. The 21-year-old suspect was arrested at the scene and confessed to the murders, quote, without hesitation. Police in Yiqing said in a statement shared with Chinese and international news outlets. According to the statement, the perpetrator was a recent graduate and was upset at failing an exam, not receiving a graduation certificate, and dissatisfaction with internship compensation. Quote, he returned to the school to express his anger and commit these murders, police said. The attack came 5 days after a man plowed his car into a crowd of people outside a stadium in the southern city of Shuhai, killing at least 35. Police said that the attacker was enraged by a recent divorce. Just over a month earlier, a man killed 3 people and wounded 15 in a stabbing spree at a supermarket in Shanghai. A police investigation determined that the suspect flew into a rage due to personal financial reasons. Firearms are strictly controlled in China. As such, acts of mass violence tend to involve knives. The most infamous of these incidents have all taken place at schools, with a 2012 massacre at Shengpeng Village Primary School in Henan Province compared with Western media to the mass shooting that took place the same day at Sandy Hook Elementary School in the U.S. state of Connecticut. In both attacks, the killers managed to murder around 24 people. Unlike in the case of Sandy Hook, the Shengpeng Village attacker was apprehended alive and later sentenced to death. In China, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, so things are not super nice in and there's another interesting news from New Zealand. So the West is not working very well. November 14, Home World News, Maori member of Parliament perform war chant in Parliament. Lawmaker Hannah Rauhiti Maipi Clerk has been removed from New Zealand's legislature for performing an aka. She was removed. Crazy. But I guess she wanted to be removed anyway. She's beautiful. She's like a Maori beautiful woman. Hannah Rauhiti Maipi Clark performs an aka in Parliament in Wellington, New Zealand on November 14. New Zealand's Parliament was suspended on Thursday after lawmakers from the Maori Party tore up a copy of a controversial bill on tribal rights and performed a traditional war chant in the legislature. I will send the video. I saw the video. I will send the video to my friend. I have the video, look. But yeah, because this is polemic, because this is aggression, you know. This is aggressive look. Those chants are crazy, isn't it? Well, it was not only her, you know. Yes, the polemics, isn't it? Conflicts. Conflicts are super polemic. You may say was not only her, but this only will that will only severe the problems, I guess. I guess the problem. Well, let's read what happened. What's all about? For nearly 2 centuries, the 1840 Treaty of Waitangi has guided relations between New Zealand's native Maori people and its white settlers. The treaty promised the natives that they will keep their lands and customs in exchange for accepting British rule, and has since been interpreted by Parliament and courts to guarantee the Maori a broad range of rights, including hiring quotas and financial reparations. What I heard that these people, Maori people, has lost their land or something. The Libertarian ACT Party, part of the country's governing coalition, has argued that the treaty discriminates against non-Maori people and has put forward a bill that will dramatically narrow its interpretation. During a vote on the bill on Thursday, Maori Party Member of Parliament Hannah Rauhiti Maipi Clark tore up a copy of the legislation before breaking into a haka, a traditional Maori war chant. Maipi Clark's colleagues rose from their seats and joined in the chant, as did opposition lawmakers and spectators in the gallery. Oh, there's a lot of people supporting her. Unable to quiet the shouting, Prime Minister's Speaker Gary Brownlee cut the hearing short and suspended Maipi Clark from Parliament for a day. Was only for a day. I guess it's fair. Despite the Maori Party's opposition, the vote passed, and the bill will now proceed to a public consultation process. Prime Minister Christopher Luxon opposed the bill, but his National Party voted to support it under the terms of an agreement signed with ACT last year. The National Party is the largest faction in New Zealand's coalition government, with ACT and New Zealand First serving as junior partners. Thursday was not the first time that Maori Party Member of Parliament have broken into hakas in Parliament. Back in 2021, Party co-leader Rawiri Waititi was ejected from the legislature for performing the ceremonial chant after a National Party Member of Parliament argued that implementing a separate healthcare system for the Maori community was discriminatory. I guess the Maoris are right. Well, a lot of problem, a lot of trouble in New Zealand. I read something from Al Jazeera. New Zealanders are taking flights to England in seeking better opportunities. How about that? Let's read some Al Jazeera instead. As usual, Al Jazeera is covering the conflicts in the Middle East because Al Jazeera is from Qatar too. And says, well, in other news, Explainer, Al Jazeera Explainer, a photograph showcasing President Joe Biden greets China's President Xi Jinping at the Filoli State in Woodside, California, November 15, 2023. Explainer, Xi Biden meet tariffs to Taiwan that what hails U.S.-China ties as Trump looms. Trump's presidency could see escalating trade wars, but ties have been rocky under Biden too. I don't know what's rocky, but anyway, by Shola Lawal, November 16th. November 16th. United States President Joe Biden and President Xi Jinping of China will meet on Saturday in what is expected to be their last face-to-face meeting during Biden's term as Beijing braces for Donald Trump presidency in Washington. The two leaders are attending a two-day heads of state meeting of the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Group in Lima, Peru, that began on Friday. Saturday's meeting will be the third time the two will meet in person since Biden took office. Relations between China and the US, the world's most important superpowers, had nose divided during Trump's first term as presidency, when he started a trade war with Beijing using punishing tariff rates. You know, I was listening a podcast that says that China supports free trade, free market, but I guess that's just because China is winning. I guess that's the only reason why China is, yeah. So I guess there's nothing essential from Chinese people. They are just making it. They are just making it really great. The two leaders are attending a two-day heads, yeah. Yet, just a second. Yet ties became even rockier in the past 4 years of the Biden administration, with sore points ranging from trade wars to TikTok. In 2023, Mexico overtook China as the U.S. biggest trade partner for the first time in 20 years, as economic ties deteriorated. So Mexico is the biggest partner of the US. And well, that's been great for Mexico too. They are doing a lot of industry in Mexico. You know, I know this young woman from California, Crazy. She is funny because as a young woman in the United States, he's facing a lot of crisis. It's kind of sad because she looks like some relatives I have. She could be a cousin, something. I have some cousin like her, and well, I told this woman, this young woman, Crazy. Well, she's beautiful too. That she could go to go working, go work for uh, iPhone factory in China. But there's a lot of bad comments about the industry in general. But above all, is capitalism. Is production. And if you have a job like that, somehow you will adapt and you will master this whatever you face. So it's like a challenge. My opinion, if you are living in China, you are in the good side of the globe. No needs for killing people. Like that guy, that anyway, that stabbing attack guy, sentenced to death. There's no reason to that. You just try to find a job in Apple factories. Anyway, still Biden has sought to maintain a steady relationship with Beijing. Well, I said that to Crazy, and she took it as a joke. Well, it was in part a joke because I don't really understand what kind of jobs you can have in the U.S. I think none. I think none of you may fight boxing fights with Mike Tyson, I guess. I will say that next time. Hey, Crazy, why don't you fight against Mike Tyson? Well, because that's the only thing Americans are doing, I guess, fighting against Mike Tyson. But so she really don't. But she's not doing really well on YouTube, I guess. She's not doing well on YouTube. She works as she's Taurus. So Taurus people, they are very workaholic, or not. I guess not too much workaholics, but committed. Committed to their objectives. I said her to take a flight to Sweden and study there. That's what I want to do also, but I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely Brazil. Maybe I'm going to Brazil, but I will have a long stance with these dogs over here. I will take a walk to Brazil. I will walk these dogs to Brazil, I guess, and then I'm going to Sweden, I guess. Still, Biden has sought to maintain a steady relationship with Beijing. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told reporters ahead of the Lima meeting that Xi and Biden will discuss the transition to a Trump White House and the need for level-headedness on both sides in that period. In his election campaign this year, Trump threatened to slap 60% blanket tariffs on all Chinese imports to the U.S. Here's a picture of how the U.S.-China relations soured under Biden and what to expect under Trump 2.0. There's a photograph from Xi Jinping and Biden. President Joe Biden greets China's President Xi Jinping at the Filoli State in Woodside, California, on Wednesday, November 15, 2023, on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperative Conference. Trade wars. Trump, in his first run as government, kick-started a trade war with China after his administration blamed Beijing for unfair trade practices that it said contributed to a large trade deficit in China's favor. Those practices the US maintains include forced labor, intellectual property theft, and unfairly low pricing that hurts US producers. China has long denied these allegations. From January 2018, the Trump administration imposed higher tariffs on Chinese imports at rates of between 10 to 25% under Section 301 of the Trade Act. Beijing accused Washington of nationalist protectionism and retaliated with higher tariffs on US imports. However, close to the end of Trump's first term, the two countries agreed to a deal that will see Washington reduce tariffs on some goods. China, in return, committed to improving intellectual property rights and also buying an additional $200 billion worth of US goods above 2017 levels by the end of 2021. Trump touted to deal with Xi, his very good friend, as a success, but researchers in 2022 said that China had bought goods worth only 58% of the amount it had committed to purchasing. Biden mainly kept Trump-era tariffs in place throughout his term and additionally sanctioned Chinese companies for dealing with Russia following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In May 2024, the Biden administration reviewed the Section 301 restrictions and imposed higher rates of between 25 to 100% of some Chinese imports. Electric vehicles and solar cells were among the affected goods. President Biden also tightened export controls on semiconductor technology important for developing artificial intelligence, and threatened to expand sanctions on Chinese banks working with Russia. Tariffs on China currently account for $77 billion of the $79 billion that the US government earns through tariffs, according to the Tax Foundation, a Washington-based monitor. By 2022, the US trade deficit with China stood at $383 billion. And we have a photograph. In this photo released by the Taiwan Coast Guard, a Chinese Navy vessel identified as the Chinese missile frigate FFG 548 is seen near the Penjia Islet north of Taiwan on Thursday, May 23. On protecting Taiwan, face-offs between the two countries over self-ruled Taiwan intensified under Biden. While China claims the region as its territory, the US is Taiwan's strongest ally and backs the island to counter Beijing's growing military power in the Asia Pacific. Beijing does not rule out using force to subdue Taiwan. Routinely, the Chinese military conducts drills with warships and aircraft near Taiwan, prompting alarm. In the past 2 years, those drills have intensified, especially in the wake of top US officials like then Speaker Nancy Pelosi visiting Taipei in 2022. In its latest move, China launched the Joint Sword 2024B exercises on October 14. Beijing said the military drills were a stern warning to the separatist acts of, quote, Taiwan independence forces. Quote, we can see that the world has a lot of regional flashpoints that are ongoing and maybe Beijing sees this as an opportunity to test their will and see if the world's support for Taiwan is strong enough. Huang Xunyang, the co-founder of the Taipei-based think tank US Taiwan Watch, told Al Jazeera, referring to the Russian-Ukraine war and the conflicts in the Middle East, it is widely believed that a Chinese invasion could prompt a US military response, although Washington's strategic ambiguity policy keeps both sides guessing. Taiwan's President William Lai-Ching-te has promised to resist annexation or encroachment by Beijing. The US is Taiwan's main supplier of weapons. In late October this year, the US angered Beijing when it approved a $2 billion arms sales package to Taiwan, including advanced surface-to-air missile systems and radars. China pledged to take, quote, all necessary means to assert its ownership over the disputed region. Tensions earlier flared directly between Washington and Beijing in February 2023 when Biden ordered the shooting down of Chinese spy balloon allegedly equipped with antennas that traverse US airspace. And we have a photograph. Giovanna Gonzalez of Chicago demonstrates outside the US Capitol following a new conference by TikTok creators to voice their opposition pending crackdown legislation on TikTok in the House of Representatives on Capitol Hill in Washington D.C. March 12. TikTok over in the US. In April, Biden signed a law giving ByteDance, the Chinese owner of the widely popular TikTok app, 9 months to divest its stake in the company or face a ban in the US for allegedly endangering national security. The deadline for the sale, January 19, is one day before Trump's inauguration on January 20. Successive US administrations, including Trump's first government, have treated the app with distrust. Authorities cite growing concerns that data from TikTok's 170 million US users could be tapped by China for espionage. Some intelligence officers of the Federal Bureau of Intelligence have been warned that Beijing could influence American users by manipulating TikTok's highly effective algorithm that curates videos content and that users are exposed to. You know, I have been using TikTok. I know TikTok now, and it's kind of low quality, you know. There's a lot of people watching your videos, but all these people are low quality profiles. Like crazy people. So I guess TikTok is not so great. I guess live is not so great. Well, this is a very large news. There's a lot of really great large news from Al Jazeera. So next time I promise I will read two like this one. I will read my delayed TikTok news. I have some TikTok TikTok delayed news because I didn't have the time to read it. So now I'm going to read the last one. I'm going to do a very quick top 5 from the highlights from CGTN, the best newspaper in the world. President Xi says China to host a APEC economic leaders meeting in 2026. This is all from APEC Peru. President Xi Jinping meets with US President Joe Biden in Lima. Starting a new era in Asia-Pacific development amid global uncertainty. I'm facing some trouble here, some problem, just 1 second. And China to enhance communication cooperation on hosting a APEC in 2026. And the last one, CGTN pool, Peru to build Peruvian model for global South cooperation. What? It's 5 minutes read. I don't have 5 minutes. A lot of things to read. Latin America. Peru is China's neighbor on the other side of the Pacific Ocean. The increasingly close economic and trade cooperation, along with cultural exchanges, continues to bring China and Peru closer together as transoceanic friends and neighbors. During Chinese President Xi Jinping's state visit to Peru, CGTN, in collaboration with the New Era International Communication Research Institute and the Center for Advanced National Studies of Peru, launched a survey titled, quote, Peru's Favorability Towards China in 2024 to 1.111 Peruvian respondents for the first time. In the survey, respondents generally gave positive evaluations on the traditional friendship between China and Peru, as well as the achievements of practical cooperation, expressing hope for building a Peruvian model for China-Latin America, traditional and fostering high level of cooperation along global South countries. Peru is one of the first Latin American countries to establish economic ties with New China and a comprehensive strategic partnership with China. The two sides are good friends with sincerity and mutual trust, and good partners for common development. In the survey, 89.6% of the Peruvian respondents have a favorable impression of China. 97.7% of the respondents believe that China is an important country. 97.2% of the respondents believe that China is a successful country. 91.5% of the respondents believe that China is an attractive country. 91.2% of them believe that China is a country worthy of respect. In addition, the Peruvian respondents also express a high willingness to come to China. 94% of them took forward to traveling, visiting or studying in China. Among young respondents aged 18 to 24, the percentage is even higher at 95.9%. And I guess that's it. Almost there. It's almost it. Well, this is summer in Chile. I guess I have to do some yoga. Yeah, I'll have to do some yoga. No, no, yeah, because I'm playing basketball. Now I'm playing basketball, you know. The someone installed the rims, so I have rims now. You know, there's things I want to know, but I don't know how to ask. Who, if someone stole the installations, the facilities to play basketball? That's my question. If the installations were there in the first place, you know, or if nobody wants to play basketball. Because there's a basketball court over there in the avenue. This is not the avenue. This is a road. Here we are in the road, but back in the avenue, there is in the avenue there's a basketball court, and this basketball court showcase. Vamos, Milu, vamos. Milu is not easy. My dogs are not easy. Mursi is better. And well, Luna is great too.